Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Take 5. We are in John chapter 5, verse 25. Truly, truly, I say to you, an hour is coming and is now here, when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live. All right, Jesus here is calling himself the Son of God. He's not leaving any doubt about it. There are some who claim he never made that statement. He did. It's real clear right here in verse 25 of John chapter 5. And he's saying that the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God and live. He said that hour is even coming. He says coming, and it's even now here. And by now here means it's right here. And we're going to see in John chapter 11 him actually giving life to somebody who is dead. And we see it a few other times too. Verse 26, for as the Father has life in himself, so he has granted the Son also to have life in himself. In other words, he actually has the ability to give life to somebody who's dead. Father has that ability. Jesus also does. Verse 27. And he has given him authority to execute judgment because he is the Son of Man. All right? As the Son of God, he had the authority to give life. But as the Son of Man, he has authority to execute judgment. That's very important. See, as the Son of Man. All right? Because he understands everything we're going through. He understands what it's like to be a man. It's fair. It's just that he can be the one to be the judge. He's not so far above us that it's arbitrary. He understands what we're going through. All right, verse 28. Do not marvel at this, for an hour is coming when all who are in the tombs will hear his voice and come out, those who have done good to the resurrection of life, and those who have done evil to the resurrection of judgment. All right? He's saying there is going to be a judgment day. Now he's talking about that. It's not now, though. Okay? That day is far off. He has the authority to execute judgment. He has not yet done it. He will do it one day. So, you need to be ready. There's going to be a judgment day. Verse 30. I can do nothing on my own. As I hear, I judge. And my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of him who sent me. And that would be a great statement for all of us to practice. If we're going to be imitators of Christ, we need to say we can do nothing on our own. And that's absolutely true. We can do everything with Christ. We can do nothing on our own. If we have any abilities, it's because God gave them to us. And he says, as I hear, I judge. In other words, as he hears from God. And we need to be very careful about making judgments that are not God's judgments. All right? And we need to let him do the judging, not us. But there are times we can use discernment, and we can certainly recognize if somebody has fruit in their life of the Spirit, or whether it's the fruit of a sinful life. We can determine those kind of things, but we got to be careful with that. Jesus says, "I don't do it on my own. It's not my own will, but the will of him who sent me." In other words, I don't try to figure this thing out as a man. I completely trust myself to the Father. Verse 31. If I alone bear witness about myself, my testimony is not deemed true. Okay. You get up in court and you testify about yourself, you give your own opinion, it's not going to hold any water. And that's what Jesus is saying. Verse 32. There is another who bears witness about me, and I know that the testimony that he bears about me is true. We're about to talk about one of my favorite people again. We get him again. Man, oh man, has the church missed out on this guy. I have seen, how many times have I mentioned this next guy? Verse 33, you sent to John. There he is again, John the Baptist. And he has borne witness to the truth. Not that the testimony that I receive is from man, but I say these things so that you may be saved. He was a burning and shining lamp, and you were willing to rejoice for a while in his light. Okay. In other words, you guys believed John. John was a powerful guy. He was burning, shining, flaming. What a preacher he was. And you guys, when he told you about me, you believed him. But now watch what he says in verse 35, or 36, excuse me. But the testimony that I have is greater than that of John. All right. For the works that the Father has given me to accomplish, the very works that I am doing, bear witness about me that the Father has sent me. All right. He's saying, look, John talked about me. So there was one great witness, but really even a better witness than that is the works I'm doing. you start looking at miracle after miracle after miracle, and he said that, eventually you're going to see him raise the dead. That's pretty much evidence that he is who he says he is. All right, tremendous passage, but this is a program's called Take 5, so we're going to stop right in the middle of it. But come back tomorrow for the next edition of Take 5.